Look at what we have here. Just look at it. It is wonderful. It is wonderful. The consistency is great, just the right consistency. And hey guys, welcome back to Cliffy's Kitchen. This is your host as usual, Cliffy G, and we want to say that it's a pleasure working with you. In our last video we did fried chicken, and we understand some of you still savoring the taste. We love that. We promised you that we would do red pea soup, and this is what we are doing today. So let's get straight to it. I'll take you through the ropes of doing a nice red pea soup. Let's go. So for our red pea soup today, friends, we have quite a few things. I'm gonna be naming them in no straight order, but you can see in the frame there we do have salt. We have like about a cup of flour here. This is to make spinners. Star is a red peas. It's soaked from last night. Then we have the beef over there. We have thyme, scotch bonnet pepper, garlic, scallion. Of course, what is red pea soup without cocoa? There's Irish potato, there's carrot, sweet potato, chocha, and of course yellow yam. Of course, if you don't have yellow yam, you can use white yam, but here's a little tip with your white yam. It's gonna crush out because it cooks very easily, so you will have to watch that one if you want a piece of yam to eat. But then if you don't mind, just use enough that it can help to thicken the soup. That's what we have. Let's get these things in the pressure cooker now. Alright, so here is my beef. Of course, we refer to this as the beef neck. In it you have nice meat, and you also have some bone. Jamaicans especially love to cook their beef with some bone in it, so for a real good soup. It's a tradition. Let me tell you, friends, it was washed several times with vinegar, so you're just seeing what was already done. The peas washed 2-3 times from last night and is soaked, and I'm gonna just pour it in now. This was 1 pound of kidney bean. In Jamaica we popularly call it red peas, but of course the other name is kidney bean, one and the same thing. I will also put 2 large cloves of garlic in it, so that from the get-go we start infusing some real good flavors into our peas and meat. See the size? Really good size. I'm just gonna cut these in 2. Yeah, this water was just enough. I'm also going to put some salt in it. Not the full amount that will go for the rest of the pot, but you know, I like when I'm pressuring stuff to have some salt in there. It gives it a nice flavor along with maybe your garlic that is there. So just a little salt. You put salt according to the quantity of stuff you're doing, so no sense telling you it's a teaspoon or what. You use salt according to what you can manage. So in your kitchen, in your cooking, use the amount of salt that according to the amount of stuff you're doing. Right. So the thing is, friends, I'm gonna close down my pressure cooker now. I know that for my good friends, especially back home in Jamaica, some of us still do our cooking on the wood fire, not using a pressure cooker. I'm using a pressure cooker here, so of course you know what amount of time. When your red peas cook soft enough, then you get in to do what you need to do. I'm going to time this just about for 15 minutes, and so I would click on my time and get the timing going. And then I go to start. Right, after 15 minutes and I hear my beep, I know it's time to come and do other things. But in the meantime, I'm going to go preparing these food now, peeling them, washing them off, so that when the meat and the peas is finished pressuring, then it won't take too much time to do this again. You know, we can have a smooth cooking in no time. So yeah, a pressure cooker is finished now, 15 minutes gone, so I unplug it and I'm just going to let the steam out fast, because you know we can't really wait for another hour or two until it cools down itself. So I'm gonna let the pressure out by let's see how well we did in the pressure cooker. Okay. There we go. And the first thing to do is to try and see whether or not the peas, you notice they even start opening, so to speak, so it's well cooked. That means less time on the stove. The same is true with our beef. See, yeah, just coming off the bone, so just ready for going into the main pot now. So I'm going to transfer it. So now it's time to transfer the peas and the meat into the main pot, like this. This is going to make for a really nice thick soup. So in with the food now. This is your yam and your cocoa and your sweet potato, all washed and cut up. And in with my chocho, carrot and Irish potato. And of course we have our dough in readiness to make the spinners. And of course this is one thing we love in our red pea soup, some spinners. So let me show you how we do it. The process for making our spinners is like this. You pinch off a little piece of dough, not very big, and I show you how we spin them. That's why we call them spinners, right? You do something like this, you end up with something like that. Go back in. So notice friends, everything is now in our pot to make this lovely red pea soup. Just imagine what it's going to be like when it's finished. I'm going to cover up now, and in about 10 minutes time I'll come back to see where it reach, if it will be ready to take our seasoning. So here we go. Right, and I'm gonna keep my heat at medium. Don't need to have it at high because it will cause the boil to be too much. You might have some spouting out, which you don't want. So keep it at a level that it will just keep boiling and stay inside like that. Okay, this is what our pot of red pea soup looks like. Ready to simmer. A little stirring won't hurt. As a matter of fact, you need to stir your soup because that is how you get that nice consistency, that nice body. You know, we don't make watery soup in this house. So by stirring your soup between the peas and like your Irish potato, those will crush out, even some of the sweet potato, and give you a nice consistency in your soup. So time to go in with our ingredients now, which is gonna make this soup so nice. Remember we had put a little salt earlier on. I have another teaspoon to add to it because it really needed to be brought up to speed. And I have here on the board Scotch bonnet. Sorry I don't have the real green one, but this is what I have so far. We're gonna put those there. And be careful with your Scotch bonnet because you're gonna do more stirring later on. Make sure that they are not broken. If not, you're gonna be eating and crying. You don't really want that. So in we go now with these. We have thyme plentiful, already washed. and then scallion plentiful, some chopped onions, and the rest of our lovely garlic that you saw earlier on the board. I'm gonna go in with all of these. They're all going to the same place, so no need to separate them going in. Yeah, let them contend in the water, in the soup. And so you stir this around now, and I'm keeping an eye on my Scotch bonnet peppers. You know, they always stay afloat, so just get that, try not to get them under your stirring spoon. Alright, now my kitchen is not smooth sailing until a little of Cliffy's special sauce gets into things. So just 1 teaspoon for the size pot is enough. You don't want it to be even very high, but this is really what is going to make your soup comes home with its tail behind it. Yes, and of course I do not have any pimento grain, but I do have the powder, so I'm going to put a little in it. That's the allspice. Again, this is taking it where it belongs. Unlike when you use the grain, not saying you shouldn't, but when you use a powder, you get 100% of the flavor. When you use a grain, you don't really get the 100% because, you know, notice sometimes a grain got into your mouth and that potency of flavor that burst in your mouth tell you that if that had gotten into the soup, it would be much nicer. So using your ground pimento, you can't be wrong. This looks really good to me, so I'm going to cover up now and give this another 8 minutes or so to simmer. Let this seasoning penetrate into everything, and then we should be good to go. So I'll take you back here in another 8 to 10 minutes, okay? I really appreciate the fact that this soup, when I stir it, I feel nothing at the bottom. You know, sometimes you make soup and even porridge and the bottom burn because what? Sometimes we do not pay enough attention. But when I'm cooking, I am really at it. So I come through safely with this one. Consistency is great. I can tell you the taste is great. And we will have a nice meal of it as soon as it's cool enough to do so. Thanks so much, friends, for staying with us through this video right to the end. We appreciate your usual support. Keep it coming. What do we have for you next? Well, I promise we're gonna do you a KFC, Cliffy style, KFC barbecue chicken. You're gonna love that one. After that one, we'll give you something in the pasta field, and that we know too, you're gonna love so much. Before we go though, please remember, if this video has given you some value, subscribe if you have not done so as yet. Share your comments in the section below, share it with your friends, and like the video. This really keeps our channel going. We appreciate it so much, and we just want to ask you to stay tuned until our next video.